All right, welcome back to Market Day Report. I'm Scott Schulte, otherwise known as the Cow Guy. And it's Friday, right? Got that Friday feeling. A lot of stuff happening. A lot of economic news came out today. It's kind of a barn burner. So let's get right to it and see what's happening with our commodities markets and see if they've been affected. How about corn? Well, we've got September in the front, up 10.5 cents. That's some good going. That SEP-D spread definitely coming in here, almost to even. There it goes. It just ticked even. 613 is last in SEP-D, so also 613, up 6.75 cents. So those spreads narrowing as we speak. How about soybeans? What's happening over there? Let's take a look at Chicago beans. Well, September's up 8.25 cents, 14.69.5. However, we do have a loss in November of 5.5, but it's come back here since the last time I checked, I believe. 14.12 is last. That's down a nickel in the new crop. The new crop's all lower, by the way, with SEP up 8.25. Let's take a look at Chicago wheat. Wheat in Chicago, well, it's down, not by much, 3.25 cents. Lost the 8 handle, 7.98 3/4. We had been above, way above it to 8.16. So look at that. It's a decent loss. But 7.99 right now, just underneath it by a penny. That's down 3 in D's. March is off 2.75 cents to 8.17 3/4. Let's take a look at the hard red wheat in Kansas City. Kansas City HRW is down 8.75 cents. 8.51.5 is last. 3 cents off the lows. Ooh. And then we've got March. That's in the middle of the deferreds, down 10.25 cents to 8.63 3/4. All right, spring wheat. What do we have going on in spring wheat in Minneapolis? Well, not a ton. 3.75 cents lower in SEP. 8.90.5. Lost the 9 handle there. March is off 2 cents to 9.20 even. And if you're asking what the heck's going on with July, it hasn't opened up yet, so that means it's slow if we haven't traded a contract yet in July. Lastly, let's take a look at cotton, what's been happening in cotton. I think we were up here last time. We are. This is good to see. Cotton's been really having a tough time as of late. 187 points higher in the D's contract, 96.49 is last. Now let's bring in one of our fan favorites, Todd Horowitz, to the show. Todd is with Bubba Trading, and he's in Las Vegas. Thanks for joining. Well, what's going on with these commodity markets, Todd?
You know, Scott, they've been really weak, and I think we're getting a little bit of a dead cat bounce here. You know, it still looks like the funds are trying to push lower, maybe to try to force them liquidation, because I think, truthfully, they really want to buy them. I think that this, you know, if you look from grains to the softs, I think you've seen some pressure. Now, we've been really, I guess you call it wide range trading. We've been in big ranges going back and forth, and every time we push towards the bottom, we get a little bit of a rally. So I think, yeah, look, I think they're going to be great. I think they're going a lot higher. However, we have to muddle through this time of year, which is in between, you know, planting and harvesting. So we've all become the weathermen, and we've got a lot of economic data, which is, none of it's been too good, although a big jobs number today, but really, you know, when you put the teachers back on the payroll, you know, suddenly those numbers jump suddenly.
Well, a little skepticism, which I probably would agree with there. Well, what about this next report? We got a report a week from today, don't we?
I think we do, but you know, again, the price action is usually well ahead of the reports. We've seen such a dramatic change in the industry, Scott, from the technology on the farm to the technology, and where people can get these numbers ahead of time and really have a good idea of what's supposed to be. So I think that the money that prices this stuff, you know, usually has a pretty good handle on where we're going to be and what those numbers are going to be. And I think that, you know, again, I think we're going to have fairly bullish numbers. However, it's still the overall pressure in the industry and in the markets right now that still, in my eyes, relates right back to the funds.
And to your point about bullish numbers, I mean, we haven't really had any new bullish news. Yes, hot and dry, but it's not new hot and dry, right? I mean, that's the thing. We went home long last weekend, hot and dry. Well, it was going to be hard to, you know, introduce new buying because it's hard to get hotter and drier, right? So all we were going to do is really disappoint ourselves, which we did. So what's going to be the new next catalyst? We have about 10 seconds. What do you think will be the new next catalyst?
I just think the biggest thing is we're going to have a food shortage, and where's it going to come from? And there's going to be a massive demand, in my opinion. And that's, I know my 10 seconds are up, but that's what I think. There's going to be a shortage.
Good stuff. All right. Well, if we run out of food, I'm going to be the last man alive. How about that? All right. Let's go away, pay a few bills. We're going to come back and talk more with Todd Horowitz after this. All right, welcome back to Market Day Report. I am Scott Schulte, otherwise known as the Cow Guy, and the Cow Guy likes to use that as a cheap segue into these live cattle markets. Let's take a look at live cattle. What's happening with these live cattle? Well, October is up 42 cents to 144 07. That's about 63 cents off the highs. But there really is a small range over there, so it's not too much. But you know what? We like to see this steady better across the board. We've got a 42-cent gain in April, way out there to 157.85. If we take a look at feeders, now remember, we have a higher corn board, but this is acting pretty strong. We'll see what our guest analyst has to say about it. But September feeders are up $1.62 to 184.20, 40 cents off the highs. Pretty good going here, folks. While October's up $1.10, right behind it to 186.57. And that, too, is about 33 cents off the high. So interesting board here with feeders, seeing what we saw in the corn board. And then lastly, let's take a look at lean hogs. What are they doing? They're mixed, right? The front's October up $1.22, tacking on some good real estate there at 98.82. 98.82 is only about what? That's now 98.85, 10 cents off the highs. And we go out the deferreds, way out the deferreds. We only have a 2-cent loss and a 7-cent loss in Feb and April, respectively. So April's at 93.95. That's down 7 cents. Let's bring back in Todd Horwitz from Bubba Trading in Las Vegas. Todd, anything you want to talk about when it comes to the meats?
Well, I mean, I think they look good, and as you say, I mean, I looked this morning. I couldn't believe that feeders were up, but I think the protein complex is good, and of course, I think cattle's stronger. Look at where crude oil is all of a sudden. We went from 120, now we're at $89 a barrel. So that does free up some capital to spend on beef instead of pork, and we're seeing, but the entire protein complex is a little bit strong, and I think that is an indicative that we're just pushing the upper levels. I don't think, unless there's some crisis, that they're going to go dramatically higher, but I don't think they're going lower either. I think we're probably stuck in this range up here at the upper end of it.
Well, yeah, you're right. I agree. Oh, I think it's going to be interesting going forward. I mean, I haven't seen this many variables in a long time for a lot of the things we trade per se. But, look, this hot weather has been very interesting when it comes to this stuff, and also the economy. So we'll see a lot of conflicting things there, but I really appreciate your content. That's great input. Thank you very much. Todd Horwitz, he's with Bubba Trading in Las Vegas. I'm with RFD in Nashville. I'm going to throw this back over to Suzanne.